program managers over here do not engage with customers or users directly. It is the product managers who directly engage with the customers, try to understand their problem statements, and then go deeper into it and identify solutions. So this is the reason why I wanted to get into product management, because that fascinates me. Before knowing much about Airtribe, I was very clear on was that I don't want a lot of theory and gyan. He assured me, yeah, from the first assignment only, it will be like not theoretical, it will be like completely practical, this thing. In each breakout room, there were like 4 or 5 of us who were like very new, excited about the product management, and we have our own perspective because we are coming from different industries altogether. And I think over there, the career services from Airtribe is helping me out to work on my resume, to work on my profile, LinkedIn as well. Let's start.
So congratulations for making it to the demo day for cohort 5, Sushant. I wanted to know how was your experience with the demo day?
Thank you, Navneet. So yeah, I had a great time in the demo day session. Like there were 4 other finalists over there, and they had excellent presentation that they showcased over there. Apart from that, the jury members also were kind of supportive. They give good feedback to me as well, and I learned a lot from the other presentation that was there on that day.
So glad you had a nice experience with the demo day. I wanted to know more about your journey. I was looking at your profile, and it's been a journey from business analyst to program manager, and now you are planning to get into product management. So how did it all start?
So right after my college, I got into risk analytics into Amazon. That was my first job. So that was something which I was not planning to do, but as a first job, like you do whatever you get, right? And Amazon being a good brand name, so I got into it. And from there, I got that understanding of numbers and the implication on the businesses, what is going good, what is going bad, identifying the problems if there are, and so on. So it was quite fascinating for me to understand the business implications and the magnitude of it through numbers. So this was something which, so with the analytics, you get to know what is the problem, but you don't get to solve it. You don't get to you can give recommendation, but you cannot act on it. So that is where the program management comes in. So I jumped on the first opportunity that I got in my experience with Ola. Like wherever I showed, I think, some level of ownership, which was appreciated by the team, by my manager and the HOD. And from there, I got the taste, of program management. So I got into it. I worked with multiple teams, even external companies. And yeah, from there, it was full-fledgedly into program management. When I was working with program management of a business, I was getting some level of ownership. But when I was working with product team or technical team, the ownership level is not that high because program managers over here do not engage with customers or users directly. It is the product managers who directly engage with the customers, try to understand their problem statements, and then go deeper into it and identify solutions. So this is the reason why I wanted to get into product management, because that fascinates me. Getting deeper into a problem statement, trying to understand the user persona, what is their pain points. So many times the users and the customers also are not aware what the problem is. They can tell you about their symptoms or the pain points, but it is the job of a product manager to understand what is the root cause is and to work on it. So that got me very interested about this domain, wherein we can actually impact people with our solutions, with our problem solving capabilities. And yeah, that's why I started looking for good roles and good learning opportunities in this domain.
So the main motivation for you was to get closer to a role which directly deals with customers.
Yeah,
like learning about what problems they have and how you can influence solutioning for them.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to know, how did you get to know about Airtribe?
So I was actually in my last company also, I was like actively looking into product management opportunities, but I think you need some level of basic understanding and information to get started with product management, because it is not very easy to start right away, because there are so many things, there are so many frameworks, there are so many perspective, so much deeper you have to get into to get started with product management, and nobody will take a chance to give you that right away. So I think I learned very early on that I need to get some basic level of education into product management, and I was looking for it as well. There are multiple courses if you see online, like right starting from the top B schools also, and there are so many other colleges and institutes that are doing it. But I got to know about Airtribe through one of my colleagues who is one of the instructors here, Nagapan Ramaswamy, and he told me about it. And one thing, before knowing much about Airtribe, I was very clear on was that I don't want a lot of theory and gyan, from my course, because it is not possible for me to study alongside my job. So it has to be something practical in nature. So I don't know if your counselor would remember it, but I asked him at least 4 times or 5 times whether this will be practical, whether we will actually working on problem solving right from the first this thing. And he assured me, yeah, from the first assignment only, it will be like not theoretical, it will be like completely practical, this thing. So that is something which I really liked about it. And then there are career assistance programs as well associated with this. But the thing which clicked with me the most was the practical sense of the education and the cohort. So that really got me interested into it.
That's good to know, Sushant. One of the things that we really prioritize at Airtribe is the community experience. So I would love to know more about how was your experience with the community during the program.
Community was something which I was not actively looking for when I joined Airtribe, though I know it is of very high importance. You see all of these alumni coming from top base schools. They have a very good and close circuit communities, which really helps them, going forward in the future. So it was there in my mind, but it was not in the topmost priority. But there is another aspect which was never there in my mind, was about community-based learning platform. When you interact with 4 or 5 people, in a small community, and you discuss a problem, like this is something that I need to do, okay, this is what I need to cover. But you get to listen to other perspective also. Like what about things that you have missed, which you do not consider important, but it is important from from the overall business point of view. And this is brought to you by other people, like who have their fresh perspective, which is different from yours. So that is something which gives a lot of exposure to the business and the problem solving approaches. And as a product manager also, I think you have to be very inclusive with respect to identifying and working on a problem. One more thing which I really liked about the course was the breakout rooms that we have, in the middle of classes, because in each breakout room there were like 4 or 5 of us who were like very new, excited about the product management, and we have our own perspective because we are coming from different industries altogether. So not only you get to learn about perspective, you also get to learn how to hear, how to listen to people, how to be patient, and try to understand what the other person is also trying to say. So these are, I think, very, very crucial skills, not just as a product manager, but also as a professional, be it in any profession. Because when you get to collaborate with people, right, the results are amazing. The overall amalgamation of different perspectives, leads to a good problem solving altogether. So that is something which I really liked.
You know why we infused these breakout rooms as part of each session?
No, please tell me.
We realized people are here not just to learn on their own, they also need to become collaborative. Something that is going to be an important skill, if and when they become a product manager. So we kind of, designed these breakout rooms as part of each session in each module. And something very interesting came out of it. When we talked to some of our learners, what was their community experience like? They talked about breakout rooms. So contrary to popular belief, like some people think community is your Slack or WhatsApp or whatever, for many of our learners, they found community in those live breakout rooms.
Yeah.
And that's where they actually bonded with others. That's where they actually built their network.
Yeah.
So that was very surprising insight for us.
Yeah. The one thing which I have seen, that if you just put a lot of people into one group, one Slack group or one WhatsApp group, it is not possible, for one person to open up with, 1 or 2 or other people also on the group. But when you have a very focused group, 4 or 5 people, and you have a problem at hand, that this is something which I have to work on together with the team, because only one person cannot speak, right? There will be other people also. So it is very collaborative that way. And if you ask me, it is very, very helpful. It is, I think, in some way I can call it, magical, because for a person introvert as me, it is very, very helpful. And the last thing which I wanted to talk about the program was about the instructors, because all the classes, they were not one-way, deliveries that were happening. It was a two-way, and it was, I would say, more of a collaboration between the instructors and people like us who were there in the batch, because not only were they teaching us, we were also able to contribute in some way or the other, because I see that 60 or 70% of the time the instructors were delivering, but they were also asking us questions, and we were able to contribute from our experience. And I was getting to learn from other from my peers as well, who were able to contribute from their experience as well. So that is something which I really liked about the program.
I have an analogy for that actually. If you are into games, in multiplayer games, people actually learn from each other, while they are playing the game. In this case, the game is learning, and everyone is participating. The instructor, the learner, and the peers, all in one single live session. So Sushant, like you said, you started as a business analyst, then became a program manager. Now you are pursuing your interest in product management. I wanted to know how you're thinking about your career plans over the next few years.
So I mean, this is, I think, the first step that I have taken to get into the product management. After this, I have to work on getting the visibility from recruiters, because I think the first step would be to get a suitable role for myself into product management. And for that, I have to prepare my profile on multiple portfolios, multiple platforms. And I think over there, the career services from Airtribe is helping me out to work on my resume, to work on my profile, LinkedIn as well. So that is something there. Alongside that, I think I have to work on myself as well. If you ask me overall, where do I have to go? So I think starting from business analytics into getting how to get things done, which is program management, and now going very deep into problem solving, which is product management. I have covered, I think if I'm able to cover product management, I will be able to say that I can get into leadership roles also in the future, because identifying a problem, getting the how part of being done, and finally into product management is something that every leadership should also be having. So that is something which is there in my hindsight that I will be trying for in the future.
All the best, Sushant, with your career goals. It was good to have you here, and I loved having this conversation with you.
Thank you, Ramesh. Thank you so much for your time.